Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
A little cold. Other than that, I'm doing great. How are
let's
you?
start with that. I was in the city early today. 3 below zero. What? 3 below zero. What? 3 below zero in Central Park. Too much. What are we doing? Well, it's free. It's cold in here. It's cold out there. It's cold everywhere.
It's damn cold.
I hate it.
It's damn cold. I went outside today to take the recycling out because that's very important to do. And I love the winter. I love it. I love the snow. I'm excited for Monday. But 5 below, 3 below.
For the birds.
Oh.
And then I'm parked downtown, and they got the meter maids still out there giving out tickets.
Yes.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's 3 below zero. Go home.
Yeah, but give the meter maid credit. They're still out giving tickets.
Why would I give them credit for that?
Because it's cold.
Right.
I don't want to be outside.
You shouldn't be giving out tickets when it's 5 below zero.
I agree.
Sorry, you just shouldn't.
I agree.
There should be alternate side of the street parking when it's 5 below zero.
I also think when it rains, there should be no alternate side parking. Rain, snow, below 15 degrees. With that said, all I'm giving them credit to is everyone's got a job, and your job is sometimes tough to do. That job is to be outside when it's 5 below zero, and if anyone ever sees you, they hate your guts. That ain't an easy job, man.
I didn't say it was, but you can give everybody a break when it's 5 below zero. Anyway, listen, Deshaun Watson, maybe he's not being traded after all. Not that you believe everything a team says, but the Houston Texans introduced their new coach today. Their executive comes out and goes, look, we're committed to Deshaun Watson being a Texan. And, oh, by the way, the last time I checked, and I believe he did check, and he went back to the office, and he looked at all the contracts that the Houston Texans have that are currently active with players that are currently active on the Houston Texan roster. And lo and behold, he's right. Deshaun Watson is under contract to the Houston Texans. So all this other nonsense that we've been talking about and everybody else is getting excited about the possibility, we all kind of forgot one part of it. Now, we referenced it early on, but we've allowed ourselves to continue to talk about the prospects of Deshaun Watson being a Jet or, heck, even a New York Giant without ever really giving enough credence to the other side, which is, as much as he has apparently told them, I don't want to play for you anymore, as much as he and his team may have made a list of teams that they believe make sense for him to go to that have the goods to trade with Houston, in other words, we're going to help Houston out here, right? When it's all said and done, if the Texans as a franchise decide to dig in their heels and let Deshaun Watson know, we're okay with you sitting out. No big deal to us. Then Deshaun Watson's not going to be a Jet. And that part of the story, while I recognize he's probably saying it today because you have to say it today, that part of the story needs to be acknowledged at the same level we acknowledge our potential excitement about the Jets or whoever team, the prospects are getting them.
I acknowledge it, but we now live in a world, and I understand it's different sports, but we live in a world in which the track record says the player's going to get what the player wants. That's the track record.
Yeah.
And so I'm not surprised at all by what they said today. But if they dig in their heels like you said, and Deshaun, and that's the key here, and Deshaun digs in his heels,
right?
Who do you think is going to blink? The franchise that could rebuild itself rather quickly with a substantial package in return, maybe even a young quarterback to replace him immediately? Or do you think a disciplined guy, who's already got plenty of money in the bank, who's 25 years old, who knows, hey, if I dig in, eventually they will give in, and eventually I'll get to play football again. Who do you think digs in and stays the longest? I'd put my money on Deshaun Watson.
I mean, it's easy to say Deshaun Watson, sure. But we're not living in Houston. I don't know all the ins and outs of how the Texans run their organization, other than they cleaned house, obviously, in the last couple months. And they brought a whole bunch of new people in who had no prior history, good or bad, with Deshaun Watson. And I think Deshaun Watson's going to be very respectful of those guys. They did nothing wrong. It's now an ownership player problem.
Right, which means it can't be fixed.
Right. It's not a GM player, coach player. That's easy to fix.
Exactly.
When it's an owner-player problem, you're at some point, the owner of the Houston Texans, I don't know him at all, but I know the ilk. I think I do at least. Listen, you have an ego too. And at some point, that owner's got to be willing to say, go ahead and just do it. I want to be done with the problem.
Right.
Now, I don't know the McNairs well enough. I have no idea if how Houston, how they feel about Deshaun Watson personally, professionally. I'm not sure if he wants to make a point to other athletes on the team saying that we own the franchise, you don't. We pay you absurd amount of money because you're great at what you do. And that's how it goes. We ask you to play, you play. We sign you to a contract. We ask you to honor the contract in this particular case. So I don't know. But I'll say this. When you're a Jet fan that's all hot and bothered, as we are, you're guilty of it, I'm guilty of it, because we're looking at the possibility of adding a franchise quarterback, not when he's 37 years old for a 1-year run, a 2-year run, a guy in his mid-20s, in his prime, who in theory should give us 10 years of great play. When we feel like we're this close to getting that to go down, sometimes there's got to be an adult in the room.
Are you the adult in the room?
I am not the adult.
Who is the adult?
The adult is this guy today, Casario,
right,
who came out and said, we are totally committed to Deshaun Watson being our quarterback.
Yeah.
Not the Jet quarterback, not the Dolphin quarterback, not the Giants quarterback.
Well, what's he going to say?
I don't know.
We're going to trade him? That's why I got to tell you, I'm not worried. Now, that doesn't mean I'm incredibly confident the Jets are going to get him.
I don't think we should be.
But I'll tell you where I'm confident. Let's start one piece at a time.
All right.
I am confident that if Deshaun Watson really wants out, he's going to get his way.
Well, that's the biggest and most important step.
Okay.
All right.
I don't look at the general manager and the head coach, both very new now. I don't look at them saying at a press conference today, hey, Deshaun's our guy. I don't look at that as a sign of, oh, wow, this isn't going to happen. Because the Texans don't want to trade Deshaun Watson. Why would they? It's the same reason all of us would want Deshaun Watson. Why would they trade a 25-year-old quarterback in his prime? Why would they do that? They don't want to. But if Deshaun Watson, and they know Deshaun Watson, especially the owner, if they know, wow, he ain't going to back down. He's not going to show up to training camp. $35 million is great. He's got plenty in the bank. If they know it's going to get that ugly, then it behooves them, and I can spell that too, to trade him. And that's why I still think they will. Will it be to the Jets? I don't know. I think there's a lot of factors that are going to be interesting to figure out. What teams would be interested, what teams are willing to offer, what players. Those are things that I can't control and the Jets can't control. If a team offers the Houston Texans a ready-made Pro Bowl quarterback, the Jets can't compete. If the Texans want picks, the Jets can compete. But the one thing I take out of today, to quote Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
R-E-L-A-X.
R-E-L-A-X. Relax, everybody. Relax.
Listen, this is remember back when the Houston Rockets said, we're not trading James Harden? Remember when the Denver Nuggets said, we're not trading Carmelo Anthony?
Sure.
What happened?
Still got to listen to it when they say it. I didn't like hearing it today.
What happened?
And it's not that I didn't expect to hear it. Those guys got traded. They got traded. Today's, if you're a Jet fan that has been living on the ether of the possibility that Deshaun Watson becomes a Jet on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, when we all wear green to celebrate.
Yes.
Today at least made you take half a step back and to remind yourself it ain't going to be easy. And just because we want it, don't mean we're going to get it. For example, what if I told you that the that the LA Rams, who apparently are fed up with Jared Goff.
No, thanks.
Okay, who has a similar structured contract as Deshaun Watson, that they make a deal with the Houston Texans because the Texans want a guy
Jared Goff stinks.
Okay?
He stinks.
Is that right?
Okay, maybe that's too strong. He's not that good.
Is that right?
Yes.
Huh?
Well, he went to a Super Bowl.
Went to a Super Bowl.
I get it.
So the point is, we don't know how the Houston Texans value Matthew Stafford.
That's true.
Jared Goff.
That's true.
Sam Darnold.
That's true.
Daniel Jones.
True.
And on and on and on.
Yes.
Because they might be saying to themselves internally, despite what they said today, which is we are committed to Deshaun Watson, they might be saying to themselves, all right, we are going to trade him. but we're not going to trade him just for picks.
Right.
We're going to trade him for picks and a guy that can play today.
That was the point I've been making to you. That's the worry. Like, there's two parts here. There's the part of, will the Texans trade Deshaun Watson? Would the Jets or Giants get Deshaun Watson? I believe the Texans are going to have to trade Deshaun Watson, and I believe they'll blink, okay? I don't believe they're going to want to get into a food fight with their quarterback when they know, based on talking to people around them, he's not going to show up at camp, and he's not going to play, and he's willing to sit out. But where it gets dicey, there are at least 24, 25, you could even expand that list as 26 teams in the NFL that would view Deshaun Watson as an upgrade. A lot of teams. I said yesterday the Baltimore Ravens. You may disagree with me. I believe Deshaun Watson's better than Lamar Jackson. Whatever. There are plenty of teams, if they're offering players like that, Craig, that they beat the Jets. Yep. I completely agree. If it's a pick trade, the Jets are in it. If it's a player trade, Jets are in trouble. I think it's as simple as that. I agree with you on that.
Yep. So we'll get into all that stuff. We'll also go down the Steve Cohen road today. Steve Cohen has once again decided to engage folks on Twitter regarding the Robinhood mess. We are not talking about the Robinhood crap today because it's done. Listen, it is what it is. Either you get it or you don't. If you were affected, I feel terrible if you lost money. The majority of people, it seems like, at least made some money, got out at some level. But Steve Cohen did go on Twitter again today and engage again. And then finally, I think, put an end to it by saying, and now back to the Mets.
Yes. That was my favorite Steve Cohen tweet in the last 2 weeks.
Maybe of all time. Yes. And now back to the Mets.
Right.
Which means maybe we have a little something coming now.
No,
Met-related, possibly.
You know what it is? Steve's got to realize something. And I can't say I speak for everybody. I'm always careful with that. I speak for myself. I think I speak for a good amount of Met fans. I don't care anymore. If Steve Cohen did something bad, something illegal, then prove it, and he'll get in trouble, and he'll pay a fine. Who knows what happens to him? But the owner of my baseball team, just like the owner of my basketball team, Joseph Tsai, I don't give a rat's patoot about his business. I really don't. I didn't care about Mikhail Prokhorov's business. Do you care about James Dolan's business? Do you care about Hal Steinbrenner's business? And the only reason we ever cared about the Wilpons business is because it affected the baseball team. Because they were involved in something that cost them so much money, it affected the baseball team. I don't care, and I think for most, you don't care about owners' business involvements. You don't. You just want them to empower the right people, spend enough money, and win.
Well, as long as it doesn't impact
the that's what I said. Yeah,
right.
That's why. And that's why, Craig, we were mad at the Wilpons.
And that's
why?
what we said yesterday. That here's two guys involved in stuff. One of them, it negatively impacted the Wilpons' ability to run a franchise for a decade.
Right.
The other one, regardless of what Steve Cohen did or didn't do, it should have zero impact on, are they getting Trevor Bauer? Are they getting whomever you want them to get? He seems like the only big-ticket guy left. I know there's going to be other deals that come about, whether it's Amora or Bradley or this one or that one.
Right.
The last big-ticket guy really on the table in all of baseball is Trevor Bauer.
Or Arenado if they got involved in a trade.
For a trade.
Right. For a trade, yes.
Right. So listen, that's the way it is. But the Mets are always into something as an organization. There's always something going on, and that's why they are the Mets. Doesn't matter who owns them.
You know what, though?
Doesn't matter who plays for them.
Craig,
there's always something.
You say that. I've heard others say that.
I say it.
I'm telling you right now,
right.
As a Met fan that has seen a lot of bad, experienced a lot of bad, and you wait for the other shoe to drop. This is not a cloud. It really isn't. I don't. If something illegal comes out of it and Steve Cohen is suspended
it's a distraction.
I'm not distracted.
No, we were distracted.
Well, we were a little bit yesterday, but right now I see clearly. I see clearly now that the
rain is gone.
The rain is gone.
I mean, if you're going to do it, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Going to be a bright, sunshiny day.
Clear as hell, man. Look, I know no one cares about this, but it's important. Did I or any five other of us, that doesn't make sense, the other five of us, did we care about how Prokhorov made his money in Russia? God knows what he did, Craig. I don't know.
I think he made it on rocks.
Right. Rocks.
No? Wasn't Prokhorov? Sure. Did he make it in rocks?
Rocks, whatever you want to call it.
I think it was rocks.
But guess what?
Yeah.
I don't care. And most sports fans don't care. We're not the moral police. I don't care what the Steinbrenners do with their money. I don't care what the Dolans do with their money. Obviously, if it's illegal, then go after them. They're humans. You can't do illegal stuff. I get it. Go get them. Everyone should be held to the same justice. But right now, until you show me that, all I care about is, are you getting Trevor Bauer? Are you trading for Nolan Arenado? And I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way.
Well, listen, he did say on Twitter today, now back to the Mets. So maybe this whole Robin Hood thing is done, at least regarding Steve Cohen and any Met involvement. And Met fans can now take a deep sigh of relief and understand that it has no financial impact whatsoever on how the New York Mets are going to operate or sign guys, trade guys, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if they decide that they're not joining the Noah Syndergaard book club because they can't afford the books, then you'll know that this whole Robin Hood mess played a role. Now the New York Mets are running the franchise.
When Noah Syndergaard tweeted, I think it was late in our show 2 days ago, I got some exciting news coming. We offered some predictions.
Yeah.
And I think we both agreed it's probably going to be just something stupid and about himself.
Yeah.
Well, we were right. It was stupid and it was about himself.
Well, I don't think literacy is stupid.
No, don't attack. I love books.
I think reading books are a good thing for young people.
And I love book clubs. I may even start my own book club. With that said, I wouldn't build it up as a big announcement.
I would recommend Ghosts of Eden Park by Karen Abbott as a good book to start with.
I would say that Team of Rivals by Doris Kearns Goodwin is a good book to start with.
No, my son's got that book.
And have you read it?
That's like 1,000 pages on Lincoln.
It's
you out of your mind?
1,000 pages of beauty.
I'm not reading any of that crap. I told my son, if you want to fail that class, I'm okay with it.
What?
Yeah.
Why would you? Does he need some help? I'll call him up. I'll help him.
No, he's high honor 4.1 something
so you
GPA.
don't need my help.
But I said to him, I go, listen, if you want to pass on that one, I'll eat that one.
You can learn a lot of life lessons from reading that book.
Is that right?
Yes. That would be the first book in the Evan Roberts book club.
Do you know why Lincoln never shaved his beard?
Why did Lincoln not shave his
Childhood
beard?
acne. He had terrible pock marks on his face.
Interesting.
And tried to hide it by growing the beard.
It's a good-looking beard, too, man.
Who knew?
I can't grow a beard like that.
Oh, that's one of the most famous beards of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
When you take a look at the Mount Rushmore of beards, it's Lincoln.
So Lincoln's on multiple Mount Rushmores.
Well, there's 4, as you know.
Yes.
There's Lincoln's beard.
Right.
There's Castro's beard.
Castro.
That's it. There's the ZZ Top beard.
Brian Wilson's beard, the giant closer?
No, not the Brian Wilson beard. No. No, I'm sorry to tell you, no.
I thought that was some beard.
And although Harden's trying to get into the Mount Rushmore,
what about the beards?
Beards, he's in the Mount Rushmore of sports beards for sure.
Okay,
but he's not in the Mount Rushmore historically.
What if he wins
beards?
What if he wins an NBA title?
No, sports he's in.
Yeah, but you can elevate yourself sometimes from sports
he's not
into the other part of the world.
He ain't elevating past Lincoln or Castro
he can
or
elevate.
ZZ Top.
He can elevate past Castro. Castro's beard was dirty, disgusting, and communist.
World leader. Sorry.
Yeah, well, by force.
Well, whatever it is.
Revolution.
I mean, Mussolini was force. Putin's essentially by threat.
But I'm not putting their beards on any kind of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, but
I've got standards. One of my standards is if you are a violent communist revolutionary man.
That's a standard?
I don't put you on my Mount Rushmore.
Well,
how about that?
You have to talk to the Mount Rushmore people.
I'm going to argue with them.
Because they got him on the list.
I'm going to write a letter.
The top 4 greatest beards of all time. So there you have it. And the last one
who's the
is
last one?
Very small. It's almost more like goatee-ish than beardish.
Who's that?
And that, of course, is Colonel Sanders. So
wait, you left one out.
No, I didn't leave any out. That's what they sent to me.
Can I tell you one?
I called them in the morning. I say, what's today's list? And they say, today's Mount Rushmore are great beards. I don't know.
Can I place an argument?
Sure.
Santa,
yeah. I think because Santa
what? How could Santa's beard not be above that disgusting Fidel Castro?
I apologize in advance because Santa's not real.
Hey, he is.
What happened?
Of course he is.
If you want to do fake character beards, I'm sure Santa's right there. Huh. I'm sorry, but you brought it up. You walked yourself into that one. I had no choice. I had to do that for the show.
Yeah,
I didn't tell Jen I'm sorry.
No, but
I didn't mean to ruin Christmas, but I had to do it.
Yeah, but you're lying. That's the problem. Like, you're lying to the audience right now.
Okay, zip it.
You want to say, Loogie, out loud, your other beard idea? Because it's a good one.
Well, I have a few. How about Daniel Bryan?
Daniel Bryan.
How about Jim the Anvil Neidhart?
Jim the Anvil
How
Neidhart.
about the Berserker?
If you want to do great beards of wrestling, feel free, have at it. That's not this list, unfortunately.
Have you ever seen, in fairness, Jim the Anvil Neidhart's beard?
I've never heard of Anvil Knight.
Oh, you got to see his beard because you would even admit this is some beard.
Yeah, better than ZZ Top?
I mean,
Better than
pretty good.
Castro's beard?
Castro's got a disgusting,
But it's a well-known, famous...
communist,
Bruiser
horrific.
Brody had a great beard.
Listen.
Hollywood Hogan.
I can't help you. I can just tell you what
Died half of it.
I don't make the list, guys. All I do is tell you what they tell me. I'm not responsible for coming up with the list.
All right, tell me what you think of Jim the Anvil Neidhart's beard. See how he
Captain
like...
Lou Albano.
No, that's a goatee, anyway.
Yeah, but it grows as a beard. It's a goatee that
he
extends.
pulls, I see, but that's not a full-fledged facial beard.
Wow.
Now, you may want to put him on the wrestling Mount Rushmore of goatees. Feel free.
You want to do a podcast on that?
By the way, maybe that's what we'll have Josh Richards do for the first time he comes on our show next week.
What, Mount Rushmore beards?
For those of you that didn't see it, there's a big announcement. I guess it was in the newspaper yesterday. We'll talk about it throughout the show. But the biggest TikTok star on the planet, Josh Richards, is joining forces with Evan and I. Every Friday in the 5 o'clock hour, Josh will come on. We're just going to BS about sports and pop culture and on the field, off the field stuff. Huge sports fan. Big Toronto Raptors fan. He's from Toronto. Huge football fan, Bills fan. And got to know him over the last couple weeks or month or so. And we were BSing about doing something together. And he was like, I love sports. Woke up every morning, watching sports on TV before I went to school. And now he's a superstar on social media. So they reached out and said, let's do something. So we said yes. So next Friday, the 5th, 5 o'clock, Josh Richards of TikTok fame will join us on the show every week. And we'll have a little fun. We'll find out why Pat Mahomes, his brother, is trying to steal his girlfriend from him.
I saw that. That's something.
So we'll get into everything with Josh, and we're looking forward to it. For those of you that may have seen the announcement, either on Twitter or in the New York Post last night, that's what's going on. We can walk you more through it later on today's show, but I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for sure. I have kids his age, and my kids adore the guy, and it'll be fun getting a different perspective on what we talk about here. So it's all in good fun, and we're looking forward to having Josh be a part of the show every Friday in the 5 o'clock hour. I can't say right at 5 o'clock, but we're going to aim for 5 o'clock, but in that hour.
Speaking of your kids, I marvel at how well-raised your kids are and how much better they are than you in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
One of the ways you showed brilliantly last night, which is that you brought home your disgusting Tom Brady jersey, tried to give it to your son.
Yeah.
And he threw it on the ground and said, quote, I'm a Jet fan.
He did say that.
Oh, it was beautiful.
We'll play that for you later this afternoon.
Beautiful.
Yes, I try to give Lucky, who's my football playing son,
Oh, it was great.
the Tom Brady jersey that I got from Fanatics yesterday, and he threw the jersey at my feet on the floor.
I loved it.
And then, of course, everyone just made fun of my couch.
You knew that was coming.
You also did a TikTok video as well.
And I did a TikTok video. Yes, I did. Because Josh Richards challenged me to do a TikTok dance video.
I watched it a few times.
And it was the one where his girlfriend, Nessa, jumps into his arms backwards. So I reenacted that at home to do a Lipa song. And I hurt my back. And it took 4 or 5 takes. But we got it.
Nice.
We got it. We put it out there. That's right. Our first ever TikTok video. So we'll be growing that portion of the show as well. We're very excited. We're very excited to act like 20-year-olds here. We are. We're very excited about it and to remain as hip as possible. 877-337-6666. All your calls, Deshaun Watson. The Texans claim we ain't trading Deshaun Watson. And we have our main man, Dave, in Branchburg, who went to Florham Park with a sign telling the Jets, I want Deshaun Watson.